Greetings and welcome to the Jamaica Diaspora Show. Today I have, again, returning from the previous year, Mr. Hugh Freeney, and we have joining us today Mr. Lamore, and we are going to be talking about the West Indian celebrations coming up. Welcome to the Jamaica Diaspora Show.
Well, thank you very much for having me. This is my good friend Donovan Longmore. You know, he's tall and skinny, so
well, welcome to the.
Thank you for having us.
Jamaica Diaspora Show, and you know, we're here to talk about the West Indian Independence celebrations. But before we do that, I want Mr. Freeney to give us a brief introduction on who you are and what you've been doing in the community.
Well, you want to talk about me or talking about us?
You.
Or the organization?
You. And
me.
You and what you're doing and what you've been doing in your organization.
Well, the role basically, I'm a member of the West Indian Independence celebrations. One of the thing is to keep the interest alive for the young folks and about the fact that they have a heritage. Mm-hmm. That many of the Caribbean nations have fought for freedom or done whatever they can to fight for their own independence, and it was formed back in 1962. Mm-hmm. A lot of our leaders from the various organizations got together to celebrate the independence of Jamaica and Trinidad, and then as the other island nations got free, not even island nations, but including Guyana, got free, they become part of the organization, and right now we try to keep it alive through the use of a parade and music entertainment, giving local businesses an opportunity to sell their wares, and local organizations to let the community know what's going on.
Well, but you're the treasurer of the West Indian Foundation. Is that?
No. I am one of the founders of the West Indian Foundation. Which is sort of a mothership of some of these organizations, especially the West Indian Independence Celebration. When we the West Indian Independence Celebrations actually started before the West Indian Foundation. West Indian Independence Organization started back in 1962. Yes, you know, when a group of people from the Caribbean Club and the West Indian Social Club got together on the leadership of David Carter, got together and decided to celebrate as the islands became independent.
We're going to talk about that too, because you know, I really wanted to make the distinction between the West Indian Social Club, the West Indian Foundation, and the West Indian Independence celebrations. You know, like as far as that goes. Now you were the president of the West Indian Social Club for many years.
Right. I served 5 terms.
5 terms. Wow. That was quite a feat. Now your role in your positional role within the West Indian Foundation now, is it its treasurer? Because
no, the West Indian Foundation is a separate organization. Right. It was formed from the West Indian Social Club, and some of their members got together and formed a foundation to help foster education and to help to culturally in the community. Okay. And many, not all, but many of them were members of the West Indian Social Club. Right. And pretty much the same thing happened with the West Indian Independence Celebration. Mother is the West Indian Social Club. Even though we've grown independent along with the foundation, but the original organization that it started from was the West Indian Social Club.
Okay. Now, Mr. Longmore, please introduce yourself and tell us your role in all of this.
Okay. My name, of course, is Donovan Longmore. I am one of your media personality on radio station WESU in Middletown every Saturday. Also a member of the West Indian Independence Celebration Committee, and also the Taste of the Caribbean and Drug Festival. And a lot of roles in the community, for the West Indian spectrum. And try to do as much as we can to give back. You know, we're here to serve our community and make sure everyone understands and know their history and heritage. A lot of times you will see that people are born of West Indian descent, but they don't really fully understand the root of where it came from. And of course, we're here to, you know, give them a taste of what's going on. And this is why the Independence Celebration Committee was formed. And we're just trying to make sure that everyone understands and accept, you know, their role. And as you see, a lot of the younger ones were born here in the U.S. or, you know, somewhere else, but they're of West Indian descent, and we want to make sure we keep that role alive and instilled within them, because, you know, when we reach a certain age and we're gone, somebody have to carry on.
True, so true. And so now I want to go back to Mr. Freeney. So the West Indian Foundation was founded by the members of the West Indian Social Club. Can you please detail that for us? And
Detail it?
yeah, who were the founders?
Okay.
When was it founded?
Back in 1978, myself and a few others. One of the individuals who started was Mr. Fitzroy Parkinson, who started the venture but had to stop. I picked the ball up, even though I didn't know he had the ball. I picked the ball up and worked with Sidney Schulman, attorney Sidney Schulman, former mayor of Bloomfield, Connecticut. We worked together along with, after we got the okay from the board of directors at the time, headed by Leslie Perry, to go ahead and form this body. And then people like Dermot Brown and everybody else came on board to assist us. And we spent hours. Dorothy Billington, if you remember, we had a state senator, Mr. Clyde Billington.
I do remember Dorothy Bill.
His sister assisted us in designing and developing of the Constitution and bylaws. And along with educator Viola Higgins, who became our second president, we forged ahead and we got grants, specifically educational grants for kids who were having trouble in school, for tutorial programs. That was the first target. Viola became president after that, and she expanded it, some fundraisings, inviting leaders from across the Caribbean. She herself, I believe, was from Barbados. So we have been an international organization, and we have worked to benefit dozens upon dozens of young people as far as getting grants from what I call book scholarships, right up to maybe a couple of thousand, which today would be book scholarships. But we're trying and we're doing the best we can at the time. But we've had help from Aetna and some of the larger firms to spread the benefits around. And it's grown. We had people like Desmond Collins, who is now the president, and I think this is the second time he served. But many businessmen, minority businessmen and women, have served on this board in an attempt to keep the heritage alive and direct our focus to help young families and children as far as getting an education.
All right, so now, is it safe for me to say that the West Indian Foundation is active throughout the year, and the West Indian Independence celebrations starts to get active towards that time when you begin the planning for the celebration and the parade period?
Not necessarily. Back then, yes. But now what we've realized is that every year we're getting bigger and there's more demand, and we're trying to make it more professionally done in a manner in which
I got to correct him on that. It's not, we have tried to, like September, we take a break. August is the celebration. September, we take a break, and we began our work activities in October. The problem is, when it gets cold, none of the island people want to come out. They wait for the first set of heat in May. That's when they show up. But the board of directors, we try to have meetings. We make phone calls. Please come out. Please come out. And folks don't show up until it starts to get warm and they start thinking about the celebration.
Okay.
But they do attempt to keep going. There's very little break, right? But as he said, that most of the activities do take place in the spring and the summer. But it's not because we're not trying
Right.
to have meetings in the fall.
Now you're talking about the meetings and who's involved. Can you talk about who's involved in the celebrations in your planning committee?
Well, we have quite a few individuals here and there. Of course, Mr. Sinclair is our president. Pat Miles, who's been doing a lot for years, has been a trailblazer over the years, and she was
St. Clair is the president of
the West Indian Independence Celebration.
Okay, all right.
This is the WISC now,
Okay.
and then Pat.
And Desmond is the president of the West Indian Foundation.
Okay, there are two Desmonds.
Yeah,
Desmond
Sinclair
Sinclair
and Collins.
and
Right.
Desmond Collins. Collins is
Right.
he's the president of the West Indian Foundation.
Okay.
And then we have Desmond Sinclair is the president of the West
Okay.
Indian.
Independence
Right.
Celebration.
So now that's the distinction that I was trying to make, all right? Because
And he's a former president, and he's a former president of
the Jamaica
Progressive League.
Yeah,
Right.
himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
And there are many more other members too. We have like different committees where we have people, have different tasks where we have to fulfill to try to make this thing work in one whole company, and we're just trying to make sure that everyone is there. Ray Davis, who is also a former president of the West Indian Club and West Indian Foundation, is also a member of this organization. So we have a secretary, Vernette Joshua. She's doing a wonderful job. She's also from the St. Lucian Club as well. And we also have Mr. Sean Antoine, Jay Sean. He's the person who's and he's also a member of the St. Lucian organization. He's our vending guy. Junior Wellington, part of entertainment, and we continue on. There are other members who are there assisting and volunteering as well.
right.
So,
So you have the West Indian Foundation. You have the
West Indian Social Club.
West Indian Social Club.
and
You have West Indian Independence Celebrations.
They're all three
What-
separate entities.
Right. That's what I was trying to make the distinction between. But I also wanted to know what other organizations in the greater Hartford area that are involved.
Well, that's why we're
Is that-
trying to.
Well, no, involving
Incorporate.
what?
In the planning, I mean, like
Okay.
the Sportsman's Club.
Well, for example.
the Jamaica Progressive League itself.
Yeah, that's one. The original goal was to have every organization send 3 representatives.
Okay.
And it hasn't worked out that way, but there are people who've come in, won, and have made an impact.
Okay.
And so, as he mentioned, you have someone from the St. Lucia. Right now, we have Mr. Brito from Trinidad and Tobago, and you have several of his members are there. You have again representing the West Indian Social Club, people pop in, pop out, and we unfortunately we haven't been able to get some of the folks from the Caribbean Club involved again as they used to be, but but we have we still have many people pop in from different organizations. We have some independents, and people who don't belong to other organizations that are participating.
Okay. Well, that's great. I wanted to make that clear because it was something that wasn't clear to me.
And the community itself, because a lot of people were saying that, okay, the Carnival Parade was strictly the West Indian Social Club. And back then it was held there, but because we used to start from North Bend and go all the way down to the north end. But people understand now that now we're coming downtown Hartford to broaden our horizon. It's now a separate entity. It always was, but people were just thinking, that's just how the community were thinking, but this show and other shows will let them know.
Okay. Well, right now we're going to take a break, and when we come back, now we're going to get into the details of the parade.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more on the Jamaica Diaspora show and discuss some of the details of the upcoming parade and West Indian Independence celebrations. We'll be right back.
Making his music, people are saying that Jamaica music belong in Jamaica. But Bob Marley took it to England and the rest of the world, and it's worldwide, it's spread. To the point that I listen to some of these Christian stations, and I'm hearing Jamaican Christian music. I'm hearing Beres Hammond and some of those stations. So what I'm saying is that you have to be broad. You can't be in a little corner. You can't keep it just on Main Street. You got to take the culture to the places where people are.
Talk to us about some of the things that we'll see at the Taste of the Caribbean this summer.
Well, what you're going to see is you're going to experience music that maybe you have not heard before, because most people tend to gravitate. Like tonight, now we have a variety. You have a mixture of steel and jazz. Sometimes we tend to fall into a pit where we just want to hear the same music. So when you come to the Taste, you'll have a little merengue, a little Latin jazz. You'll have some compa music from Haiti. You'll have some dynamic St. Lucian doing some of the cultural stuff that is dance with the colors, etc.
We're going to have soca.
And you're gonna have the calypso, the soca, the reggae, but the dances that are provided by some of the local groups who try to keep the culture going. And then the food is a wide range of food, you know? So it is something different. And what happens is, I'll give you a story. One year we were downtown and these people were here. I guess they came from California. And they happened to, because we have put flyers at the Hilton, they came down. And when they had to leave, and they were so saddened because they had to catch a flight out of Bradley. But they had not known about this event. And they were leaving in the Heights when the Puerto Rican group was playing music, and people were dancing, having fun. Because they were dancing on the plaza and doing all the various dances, and they were getting into it, but they had to leave, you know? So the fact is that we are presenting downtown of Hartford, that this city of Hartford is a place to work and play in. It's not just one thing, it's a variety. And I always say this, Langston Hughes said, we too sing America. We too sing America. And if the capital is downtown, why are we keeping a little corner? We need to be at the state capitol where the gold is.
And we're back with my guests, Mr. Freeney and Mr. Longmore, representatives of the West Indian Independence celebrations. I want to talk about the details of the parade, you know, where it starts. Anything new? What are we expecting this year?
Well, I mean, the same excitement that we had last year. We're trying to improve each and every year. We do get criticism and praises from the community, which we all take. I mean, it's constructive, so we're trying to make sure that we improve on everything that we do each year. Again, a lot of people line the streets, as you know, to see performances, especially from the younger groups. We also have older folks performing as well, and you know, it's all a family fun-filled event, so people will come out and see what's going on. We also have the judging, which we've done over the years, and
Judging
of the bands, the costumes.
You have dance
dancing.
competition
Yes.
also?
Yes.
That's what I wanted to know, what the venue was going to be like. I recall the dance competitions and the various venues. Can you talk
Well,
to
it's
us
not
about
really
that?
the venue, it's on the street.
Okay. Right.
So it's going down the route of the parade.
Okay.
And we have certain spots where the individuals or the crowd might want to see Mr. Freeney group dance, or you know, whichever group is there. But it's just that people have excitement and family members are there to cheer them on. Towards the end, before we culminate in the park, there's a judging stand, and that's where they showcase their best talent and what they have, whatever sections they have, and you know, the judges are there to, you know, make it worthwhile.
I've got to commend, they have, I guess, they started a program with some organization out of the Arts Council called Summer in the City. And it was an effort to maintain activities for the young people, and they've been very, very supportive. About 3 years ago, we the financial situation had gotten so bad that they had to sort of halt everything. And but over the last couple of years, they're making a strong attempt to bring it back. We had exploded at that time, like the 4 years ago. It was tremendous. From an organization called SICA, they have a tendency. They have a tendency over the years of getting kids together, getting some funding, and teaching kids how to dance and whatever. That was held by or ran by a gentleman by the name of Junior Miller. And it's probably one of the most colorful part of the parade. One time we had a couple of hundred kids. And that's our goal, is to take those kids off the street, teach them how to make their costumes, teach them how to dance, both male and female, black, white, and brown, whoever wants to participate in it. Even though this is called the Jamaica Diaspora. Yeah, Diaspora.
Or
sorry.
Diaspora.
Now you
Both-
call
both appropriate.
long. What if name we called you earlier? Yeah, diaspora. We're also an African diaspora, so we have we're inclusive of all of the people, including our European cousins who may want to participate. And the whole point is that we the whole idea was that with this summer in the city has gotten corporations involved in helping to support the program. So saying that, I'm going to point out the fact that we need to, that we're still accepting applications for people who want to participate.
Okay.
So if you haven't gotten your application in, go on the website, wiic.hartford.org,
Okay.
and you can pull it off. Listen, we if we don't have any money, because we do say there's a registration fee, but if you don't have it, we don't care. Come. Bring
Well,
your group in and march with us. We're going to have churches involved in the marching, as well as entertaining the crowd with the gospel this year. And we're not stopping anybody.
Okay.
Just come in and act decent, and make us proud, make yourself proud, and as I said, we're still accepting applications.
Well, I wanted to, you're accepting applications, and I recall last year you, I think the figure was 100,000 to put this whole thing on. Is that right, or?
Yes.
About?
Yeah, it's very costly.
And so the fundraising effort. I mean, can you talk about that? How you guys are raising the funds? Where's the funds coming from? Is donations and
Yes.
and
Grants.
is that still open?
Yes.
You're looking for that? You want
Yes.
to talk?
Yes.
To that?
Well, Mr. Freeney has been doing a wonderful job over the years with a magazine, which requires ads and all that great stuff. So that's one part, and we do have great sponsors. Freeney Foundation is always there to help us.
I mean, it's
And,
$100,000. I mean, where's the bulk of it? Is it donations? Is the city
Yes,
giving us anything?
It's the bulk of it is donations, because one of the things we don't do well, we don't sell tickets very well, the group, but
it's a free event, so people.
It's a free event. What happens is, and this is where, for example, this year we're having Mr. Vegas, Jim Myers, we have Soca. What's the name of that?
Octave, Orlando Octave.
Okay, coming from he's from Trinidad. Rick and Novato, and Sexy Marissa, this and that band, Black Roots. Now, this is an attempt to attract a crowd.
Right.
When the crowd comes, they buy from the vendors. The vendors is one of the people who are the backbones of where we get some of this money from to pay back the city or even, matter of fact, paying for Mr. Vegas to come. These guys aren't free. So we have the vendors, we have, we ourselves sell items and donations. We accept donations from various causes and for various causes. So it's quite a variety. As he mentioned, Dwight Freeney, my son, former NFL player, he's been making donations. And channel 93.7, the radio station.
CHS.
Yes, CHS, another major organization that's Community Health Services. They have made contributions in many, many ways. So there's a lots going on. So we're doing. Answer your question. That's where we get the bulk of the money
Okay,
from.
and since I'm sure you're still looking for donations, you can give us some information. We can put that on the screen, and who do we call?
Well, I mean, best thing to do is go on the website. You'll
Website?
see. Yeah.
Okay.
Our numbers are there, and
We'll put the website up on
yeah,
on
applications
the
are there, vending forms are there, so
Okay.
anything you need. And if you want, me and Freddie can give our number so you can
screen.
call
Right.
us.
So you gave us the headliners. Mr. Vegas is where's he from?
Jamaica.
Oh, okay. And we talked about the cost of putting these celebrations on. Now, as far as the venues and when you put this together, when you put the program together, do you solicit ideas from the community?
Yes, we do.
You do. Here's so there. I just wanted to point out there's a in the UK there is a what they call a
Song competition.
song competition. You're aware of?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to make reference to is that something that
We've done it before.
you've done it?
Yes.
You've done it. Oh, that's great. Can you tell me is that something that you just discontinued, or was it
Not necessarily.
successful,
I
or-
think it was 2007.
Uh-huh.
It was called the West Indian Idol. It was a competition where we
okay.
have the best singers,
The
and the top
singers?
3 would perform in our
Uh-huh.
carnival parade
Mhm.
and other shows around the area.
Mhm.
And things got a little out of hand, and it didn't
Okay.
turn on. The first year was good
Mhm.
in terms of getting the winners, but then again, after a while, we try to do it and it get out of hand. People want to take control and thinking that it's their idea, and it just got eerie. So we kind of put it on pause for a while.
Mhm.
We're not saying that we're not going to go back to it because we're trying to get
It's
more.
an absolute great idea.
Yes,
the
it
problem
is.
is that we don't, our volunteers, they stretch thin.
Mhm.
We had a young man coming in talking, he was going to do it this year,
Mhm.
and I guess he needed to get a job.
It was too much.
He needed to get a job
Okay.
and feed his family instead of working with us. I don't understand that.
Okay. Well, now you want to talk about the parade route? What time? Give me some dates.
Well, I mean, we all know it's Saturday, August the 11th.
Mhm.
It takes off. Those who are partaking in it needs to be at Battle and North Main Street
Mhm.
What, 10?
by 10 a.m.
Okay. By
The city
10
give us a
a.m.
time in which we have to pass the Dunkin' Donuts Stadium
Right.
and when to get off the street.
Right.
We have to be finally off the street. Is it
Right.
1?
2.
2 p.m. So
Right.
we march all the way from down there, and we have guides and people instructing them when and where and how fast to move, and policemen are there too.
Right.
So all that's been dealt with as we march on the parade, and it starts from 11 a.m. we kick off,
Mhm.
and then we end down by the park at 2 p.m.
Okay. So now, as far as the parade, how many different groups do you have? And I think you did say that you're still looking for participants.
Yes.
Okay.
We have 30 plus.
Okay.
So one year we had 45.
Okay.
So we're trying to get as much as can, and especially the younger kids.
Is there a deadline for those that would be interested in participating?
Yeah, I mean, the end of the month.
The 9th. August 9th.
Well,
If it's not too hard to get everybody together for when they're coming in, then the week before it's fine. Because I mean, one year
Listen.
we had someone came in the day before, right before the
No,
event.
we know the day of the event, we had these motorcycle guys come in. I'm not saying don't. Hey, just sign. You want to give me a little donation? Fine. Get in line. We're not. We're very. Right now, we're very liberal. We're hoping, because we're in a rebuilding mode from what happened a few years ago, as I mentioned earlier. The fact that we had to literally shut down, because as I said, 4 years ago, it was one of the most exciting times ever. We had Marcia Griffith, and we had the Miller Group. Sika had a tremendous turnout, and Percy Auto had a tremendous turnout, and what happened is that the city got into financial hot water. So, but now we're rebuilding, trying to get back to what it was 4 years ago, and I think that we can do it, but the word, and I appreciate, thank you very much, helping us to get the word out.
Well, yeah, we definitely want our parade back, and we're very, very grateful for the fact that we got it back last year. I did now the date is Saturday, August 11th.
It's always the second Saturday in August.
And the parade, again, it starts at
11 a.m.
and
and at 2. And then after that, we go into the park and have a free concert.
all right. Now, isn't there some dates in there? I mean, it's not just one day, is it?
That's what you're
You're
going to
talking
get
about
with
the
West
West
Indian
Indian
Social
celebration
Social Club and
and other organizations.
Yeah, they have, for example, the West Indian Social Club has like 5.
From that week on,
Right.
The whole,
and then everything culminates on the 11th. So the week prior.
Okay, so all right. So this is the culmination
Yes.
of West Indian
Yes, celebration.
Celebrity Week. Okay, because I think we did have the entire
Yes. Week of festivities. Yes.
festivities listed on the screen
Yes.
when we did the show last year, and so this is the grand finale.
right.
No, let's separate. Mr. Millwood, the fact is that that week celebration is not part of the West Indian Independence.
Okay.
Committee. That's not our event.
Right.
That's more the other clubs, the West Indian Club, and people thinking that it's all together. Most members are from there, but it's two separate entities.
But in essence, when you hold this event, it's at the end of that week.
Yeah,
and
for everyone.
In essence, it does become the grand finale of the entire.
Yeah, well,
period.
let's just say the festivities down at the riverfront is theoretically the kickoff.
Okay.
Even though it's not officially the kickoff,
No, the Bloomfield Town Green, I think, is a kickoff.
well, the little
Okay.
Greenfield. and-
So let's talk about that because you're on that committee too. When is the taste?
The taste is the week before our parade.
Okay.
So it's always the first Saturday in August. That's August the 4th.
Okay.
And that's at the Morton's Riverfront.
Okay. You're on that committee. You want to
Yes.
talk some plug in?
Well,
it?
yes, it's, and again, another family fun event, and people come out and enjoy, the best of the Caribbean. We culminate all the Caribbean islands and other countries too, because I mean, it's out of many one people, so we try to make sure that everyone is there. There's a beautiful thing called Children's Village, where they have face painting,
Okay.
bounce a house for the kids, and just to entertain them, because kids get restless, and mom and dad might want to see something the kids don't, so there's an event for them. They get face painting, and they can jump around and get food to eat, and it's upstairs and downstairs where there's vendors from all over, and you name it, jerk this, jerk that, they have it. Anything from the Caribbean, it's there. So it's a big food festival, and people come out and enjoy, and the two always go hand in hand, because people who come to the taste always end up at the Carnival Parade anyway. So, it's a great place to meet people, socialize, and enjoy great activities, and see the best costumes, dance, folklore, everything you want. It's all there.
Well, recently I know there was a event fundraiser with Mr. Leslie Perry came to town.
Yes, Jazz
to-
Fusion.
Jazz
Ye-
Fusion.
yes, yes.
Can you talk about this?
Oh yeah, that's a fundraising event for the taste.
Right.
And of course, Ilan Trotman is one of the best.
Is he gonna be there this
saxophonists.
year?
No, not this year.
Okay.
His schedule won't allow it.
Okay.
But they have Terry Gadraj, they have Hezron, they have great entertainers, from the area, and the Anthem Band, a Mandel Band, some of the best artists around town are on the event. So, we want to make sure that, we feature top-notch acts on both events. And we try to give everyone a chance, even though we have people who think that they need to be on, each show every year. And that's something that we're trying to say, okay, let's try to up it a little bit more and make it more professional. If you're on it 2 years in a row, there's no need for you to be on it a third year. Give someone else a chance. And we're trying to get artists from all over, not just locally, and we want international acts as well. So we try to, motivate people and take ideas from people. Backlash are always going to be there. Criticism is always going to be there. But we have to, committee have to know, hey, we're doing it for the community.
Well, we're gonna take another break. This is gonna be the last break because I did do some interviews at the last event last year, and take a look at it right now.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll be right back on the Jamaica Diaspora Show. Our talk with Mr. Freeney and Mr. Longmore on the West Indian Independence celebrations. We'll be right back.
Now, I want to get Veronica in here because I want her to talk something about what we're going to taste, what the food is like, or what do you like most about that?
Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, there's such a variety there. I usually leave that place having gained at least 10 pounds because I go for the patties, I go for the jerk chicken, I try the roti. Listen, bus up shut roti, that's my favorite. I tried that in Cuba, Trinidad when I went there, and I've loved it ever since. So anytime I'm at the taste, I find a roti vendor, and I'm all for that. There is just so much variety there. The bears, I noticed they had red striped there last year, along with all the other bears that was there. So it was nice to see some of our culture. Hopefully we'll see bears from Barbados and Trinidad and all over as the years go by. But I'm telling you, it is just fantastic. You know, I'm a shopaholic. So I hit all the vendors and I leave there with all my ethnic clothes. People say, well, how do you find all these things? They never know. I buy them at the festival because there's no stores around here that sell them. So I look forward each year to buying all the different colors, whether it's Trinidad, St. Lucia. I buy them all. And some years people get mad. You're not, the Jamaicans are saying, how come you represented Trinidad this year?
We're
I
a
go,
culture.
I go all over.
We're the Caribbean.
And I'm a Caribbean.
I'm going to say something, Veronica, while we're talking, because I don't know who's listening or who's seeing it. Listen.
International. Our audience is international.
What I'm saying is this, though. The taste of the Caribbean is always looking for sponsors, unique sponsors. In other words, for example, if you are marketing a product that you want to make sure that it's seen, call me, Leslie Perry, at 860-306-1693. Call Leslie Perry, because guess what? When you come and you put a booth there and you give samples, a wide range, a diverse group is going to be coming, and they're going to see your product. You see what I'm saying?
We're talking about a wide range of
Precisely.
all ethnicities.
Yeah.
It's downtown Hartford, right next to the convention center.
Tell us about the number of people that you expect.
Over the past years, we've had over 15,000 people coming through there. Over 15. The plaza.
Here, I was sure it was 20. I mean, there was no place to sit, to walk.
We've expanded it back to all the way back on the river. Because what happens is, as you look at this place, you're on top of the plaza, and as you go further over, it cascades down to the river. So it's like being in the Caribbean. You have the water. And as it cascades down to the water, to the left, the water runs along the river. And there's nothing but green shrubbery with pristine water running. And you go way back, and there's a tranquility of it's cool, even though it's hot, it's cool, because the trees offer an umbrella as you move forward out and the grass is so green. I don't know how to keep it that green and beautiful. So it's an aura. In fact, we have so much entertainment. And I'm amazed when I walk by, I see so many people sitting by the water because it's the tranquility that's being offered.
Very relaxed.
They all don't. At the top, there's music. At the middle, there's music all over. But some people, the atmosphere, sometimes they take a break and they're sitting by the water and listening to the water run because there's a peaceful tranquility there that's second to none.
And you know what I noticed lately, the last year, there's people in their boats. They come in from Middletown, from the shore
And
with
listen
their
to
boats,
music.
and they just relax on the river and just take in all the music. I think it's so awesome. It really is.
Well, we're all looking forward to it, and we certainly, the community thanks you a
And
great
I want
deal
to thank you, Mark.
for
I
what
always-
you did in putting this all together.
Whenever I speak to someone who's doing what you're doing, because it's all for gratis, free of course, you are seeing the importance of a person committed to this community and giving back to this community and sharing, because a lot of people don't realize the wealth of programs that's taking place in the city, because they stay in their little corners. So you need to venture out.
Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you so very much. And I thank the Taste for a wonderful evening and all the work that they continue to do to promote our culture in the city.
Thank you.
All the best.
All right.
And we're back. And we are talking about the West Indian Independence celebrations. Right now, specifically, Mr. Longmore, I want to go back to the parade route, and could you please just kind of reiterate that? So,
All right, like we're saying, North Main Street and Battle, sometime Nelson, 10 o'clock.
Okay.
All participants need to be there
Okay.
by 10 a.m.
And also, I wanted to emphasize that you are still accepting
Yes.
participants.
Yes.
And the participants, right now, what does the participation represent? We have certainly, the Caribbean community.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
what about the African American?
Well, we have a
community?
few, but we're trying to solicit more.
A few. What?
Like dance group.
Okay.
We're trying to get more drill teams in there, and the young people was what we're really trying to target, because, as you know, when the African American had their parade, that kind of went off. They're trying to bring that back as well. So we usually piggyback, because ours was first and theirs was right after ours. So we're working with Father Guild to try to help bring some of those back.
The African American.
Yes.
So
Some of the kids grow up, so they're away in college, or they're moved away, or they're doing something else. But some are here.
What about our Hispanic community? Salsa.
No, we
that
would.
community?
We've had them
Back in the days, yes.
They've been there, but since they've gotten their, as a matter of pride, they're doing both the Bridgeport and the Hartford area, and the doors are open to them as well, if they want to showcase their talents. We have nothing against any of the so-called tribes being in it. The African American community is probably a little closer to us, because if you recall, when the program first began, the biggest supporters was the African American community, because it's a Pan-African thing. Right. So it irks some of our Jamaican friends who one group feels it, that we're being too diversified. But hey, a lot of our Jamaican friends have moved to Fort Myers in Florida, or have gone, to Atlanta, Georgia. And they've retired down there, or moved on, or even gone back to Jamaica. The point is that right now we're trying to get more of a carnival flavor, without forgetting the fact that there's a historical thing, independence from the British Empire. The carnival thing is because we're getting more Trinidadians, more people from St. Lucia. They have to participate. They need the elements of their culture in. The same thing with the Hispanics. We have no objection to any Hispanic group wants to participate. Matter of fact, there's a gentleman with the Hartford drum line from Hartford Public. He's Hispanic. He's bringing in a bunch of kids, where half of them, I believe, are Hispanic, who will be participating with the drum corps. Hey,
great.
if we can get 2 or 3 drum corps, and then we can set up a trophy competition. Right, but right now we're getting 1-1, and we don't know where the other one is coming from. So we're saying to you out there, please join us.
Come on down.
Come on down. There's no great expense to join. Do a couple of practices and come in and have some fun. We're hoping to have some of the radio personalities. We haven't confirmed it yet, but we're hoping to have the radio personalities come on in and help judge. So we're trying to make it more international. and we're looking forward to more African American groups. I mean, even from New Haven.
Mm-hmm.
One of the champions of 3 years ago was from Hamden.
Hamden, Connecticut.
Hamden, Connecticut. They
Wow.
came in and
Was it a West Indian group?
no, real African American group,
Okay.
and they won with their very creative dance routines. And we're hoping to have them back, but we've had clashes with them in the sense that they've had they had competition out of state. They've gotten that good, and they have competition on the same day. So.
Well, I would like to remind both of you that this is an international show. The Jamaica Diaspora show is aired in the U.S., UK, Canada, and Jamaica. And in fact, the show, after we broadcast, the show now is placed on YouTube. Okay?
Great.
So we'll air this show, and in fact, last year's show is now on YouTube. So if you want to look at that. So,
Well, how many people see your show?
well, you have to watch it on YouTube because
We're in trouble now.
Yeah, a lot of people do see
there's a-
certain shows.
You know, the thing is that isn't there a little check off saying like, dislike, or something like that?
But
Does it indicate-
yes, no. And there's that on the YouTube channel.
Yes.
And there's also
Subscribe.
it also tells you how many people are viewing.
Viewing, yes.
So.
That's great.
Well, as of today, you're going to get 1 million.
All right. Well, this is great because you have a great flyer, and you have some very outstanding talent coming. I'm excited to be involved in helping you to promote, and I will be there, or the Jamaica Diaspora
Diaspora
show,
show.
and Hartford Public Access Television will be there to broadcast
So we look forward to seeing you.
and to televise. So now, final thoughts? Anybody want to?
Well, I would like to encourage everyone to take a look at the website, sign up and come on in. You know, we're not hawking money. If you can't afford it, don't worry about it. Come on in. Bring those kids in. Let them enjoy themselves. You know, the point being is that it's for you. It's for our community and everybody in the community. You know, from the various islands. If it's, you know, our Jamaican friends, our Trinidadian friends, our African American friends, our Irish friends, come on in. You know, Puerto Rican friends, come on in. You know, enjoy yourself. It's for fun, and you'll love it. There'll be food vendors of international
Oh, that's right.
food vendors.
We didn't even talk about the food.
Well, I can't talk about the food.
Well, we mentioned slightly about it.
Yeah,
we mentioned slightly about it, and of course they have arts and craft and all
Arts
kind
and
of stuff.
craft, yeah, exactly.
So there's a lot of stuff happening
Yeah, we normally have more food vendors and
than anybody else.
than even the parade participants. You know.
Yeah, so we have food. Pretty much, could we say the cuisine would pretty much cover what we're going to see at the taste?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yes.
Yes. And it's from different islands. And one last thing before we leave is the fact that this here Independence celebration, 56 years, it's the longest running of its kind in North America.
Okay. Excellent.
And we're proud of that.
That's something to be proud of. And so thank you very much for coming to the Jamaica Diaspora Show. And we will continue to support the outstanding work that you're doing in the community. And thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the Jamaica Diaspora Show. We'll be back next week with more programming on Hartford Public Access Television. Thank you for joining us.
Bye-bye.